we're here. Welcome. It's another Tuesday afternoon. Um, things are a little different. At least things for me are a little different. I'm like in this entirely new situation. Oh, new neighborhood. I moved to Portland and I'm pretty settled in and I'm ready to stream, ready to rock this house, man. And I got a new crazy side character that's going to come in. He's very mysterious, at least I think so. And yeah, this is the Roll for Mischief crew. We are continuing this inserted episode. So we're currently in the middle of like episode 10 technically, but we're taking this little trip story to bring our new character Ellie, controlled by Kerry down there, and we're bringing her backstory and weaving it into all of these events that have happened throughout the history of our little show. And the idea is to go up to the point where Ellie gets brought right into the moment where we left off last when we did a session that's actually occurring in episode 10. So, kind of a trip, but
This is a
yeah.
wonderful, this is a wonderful jump-in point for anybody who's new to the channel, as well as we are kind of recap some of the major events that have shaped the story up, and um, allowing new audience members to enjoy the story with our new player.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to get people caught up or get new people on board with this crazy long story. It's been like over a year that we've been doing this, which is weird to think about. Crazy long story so far.
Mm.
So,
Like we've
anyhow,
been doing it a little while.
yeah, we got kind of been doing it for a little while. So, anyhow, let us go ahead and hand things over to our eminent dungeon master today, Drew Murray.
That's
Yeah,
me.
that's you, dude.
So, thank you. Welcome to everyone that is tuning in now, and hello to those of you joining on YouTube. We are going to be shifting forward in time from the previous session. We're going to be visiting a somewhat familiar period for those of you that have been watching all the way through. Season 5, episode 5, episode 5. Where Josh took over as GM and ran his Trust Falls episode. It was narrated that there was a period of 3 to 4 weeks where the players had just finished one adventure and were about to go and do this sort of team building exercise on these halfling islands. Before that happens, we are going to jump in and see what's been going on with the world during this period of narrated gap. We have Ellie, who is a special kind of magical person. She is playing a character that I was about to introduce, and I realized that probably everyone should introduce themselves and their own characters. But to catch everyone up before we introduce the characters, Ellie was introduced in the last episode along with Zelor as a player character. Zelor was an NPC previously. And the two of them were taken to a dwarven city where they encountered some strange sorcerer coming into his powers. And he was accidentally creating all sorts of magical effects. And it turns out that I'm forgetting his name now. Taladris? Yes.
Yeah.
Taladris took action against the child. The guild masters of this dwarven city wanted him to be taken care of in some fashion, to be removed from society, and they were open to him being killed to make that happen. It's unclear exactly what happened to the child. Everyone blacked out, but it is clear that the population was generally unhappy. Soon thereafter, a few dwarves assassinated Ambassador Taladris.
Mm-hmm.
So it's simple to assume that perhaps they were a little unhappy with the decision that he made and the actions that he took. We skip forward a little while. Zelor and Ellie have been working together for a little while. Zelor in the meantime, gathering information on behalf of On, as well as just learning all sorts of interesting things about the world. Let's go around and have people introduce themselves and their characters. Let's start with Asa.
Let's start with Asa. Is Asa listening?
Because we're pretending like I'm not paying attention. Let's start with me.
Yeah.
I am just trying to work out if I am actually lagging or not, because on Twitch I look like I'm not doing much. Maybe I'm just really good at being still.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the OBS screen right now, and you look pretty good. You look
Okay.
pretty fluid. We can
Because
hear
nothing's happening on the stream on the Zoom stream. I look good on that. All right. So, anywho,
Weird.
I am playing Zelor, who I came up with a wonderful last name because I'm so creative. Zelor Raylos.
you. Roles.
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 Yeah.
Wow,
But,
that's inspired, Asa.
nailed it.
Oh,
That's
so creative.
Inspired.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Shut up. Because I'm suddenly a joke player. Zelor is a rogue who has learned some magical tricks over the last few weeks, hanging out with his new friend Ellie. So that means that I'm now an arcane trickster. He's a bit gruff, a bit no nonsense, says what he means, kind of person, and he is pretty good at finding and getting a hold of things, which is why he was hired by On to be an informant. I think that's it, right?
Word.
Cool.
All
right.
Shall I go?
Yeah, why not?
My name is Kyle. Hi. I'm back after a bit of a little absence, but I'm back, and I'm going to be playing this character named Leovan, who is an elf. He is very old, which for an elf is saying something. For a creature that can live for like centuries, this guy looks like Grandpa Elf, which is a feat, I think. But anyway, so he's a druid, and bit of a spoiler alert, I guess. He is associated with the group of druids that have been a recurring organization in our game, and those are the druids that live in the sewers underneath Twin Harbor. And in the course of our game, they eventually also there was a schism that happened in their whole organization, and a section of them decided to leave the sewers and kind of join our party-ish kind of situation that we had going on. And they live where Egner's home is, in Bronzewood Grove. But then, yeah, there was also the other sect of druids that just kind of kept on doing their thing. Where we are at in the story right now is before that schism happened in the druid order, which we're calling the Under Circle now. That's the new name that we're going to be using for them. This is before the schism happened, and he is just going to kind of get dropped into the situation and be all old and cryptic and mysterious and shit. That's what he's about.
Nice. Kerry.
Yeah. I'm Perry. You just said that. I'm playing Ellie. Her full name is Ellie Nobel. I've given her last name now. An human artificer, but she is young, so still an apprentice. She'd been in training for a couple of years in the last episode, so she's still in training, but she's kind of got a bit further now. She has created some new inventions, which I'm very excited to bring out. She has a little brother who got horribly disfigured in the last episode. He's lost his arm, and he's up in a hill dwarf town, like some ways off from where I am. She's just been kind of learning lots of things from her new friend.
So that's the characters. On to the plot. I suppose we should have a plot. Anyone got a plot? I'll come up with one.
No,
Fine.
I left mine behind. Sorry.
You should
Aw.
come up with a plot, though. That'd be cool.
Thanks, disembodied voice. So, excuse me, my throat's a little scratchy. I'm going to be downing a lot of water today. Probably shouldn't get a job where I'm talking a lot. We are going to begin sort of in the middle of things. Zelor and Ellie will have learned about recent events involving a few select individuals, specifically Aigna. Aigna, On, and Eridu. They heard about the sacrifice that Okrim made many months ago, possibly a year or so ago now, and the assassination of Ambassador Taladris. Upon hearing about this and learning other small bits of information, they've found that there's perhaps a growing danger afoot, that perhaps going to visit Ren while he's recovering is going to get more difficult. So there's someone that has been pointed out to them might be helpful and beneficial, while at the same time acting as a contact for Aigna and Eridu and On. And the new friend Alton as well, Alton Brightmoon, a capable tracker. This gentleman is called Merrick Oxhead. He's a bit of a recluse. You've been warned about his gruff demeanor, but you've been told to go and find him nonetheless, and he should be able to help you with some information and advice. You're traveling on your way there already. Comedes, Ellie's mentor, has already left the group. He has decided that Ellie needs to continue her apprenticeship through a school of hard knocks style. He will continue liaising with her, but he's returning back home so that he can work on a few private projects. And he's promised to also help Ellie as much as he can from a distance. But that as far as he's concerned, she needs to just sort of learn a few lessons on her own without him being there to, as far as he's seeing it, holding her back. So Comedes is away. It is just Ellie and Zelor. You arrive at the base of a hill. At the top of this hill is a small hut. The roadway all the way up here has been a mass of woodlands and rivers. There has been this constant noise all around. The heat has been phenomenal. You guys are sweating like crazy. It is like a tropical temperature. And at the top of this hill, you can see that there is a well with a bucket placed upon the side, and there is a door kicked in at the front of this building. This is supposedly Merrick's homestead.
Are we? We're not inside of Twin Harbors proper, right?
Oh no, this is
Didn't
quite quite a walk. You know, so like you got Bronzewood Grove, which is like
But you're talking well into the Free Kingdoms area.
whichever side. I don't know if I established whichever side Bronzewood Grove is on. You know, but it's like
it's on Free Kingdoms side.
okay, it's on the Free Kingdom side. So this
Okay.
would be like going further away from Twin Harbor in that direction, away from Bronzewood Grove, up into the foothills of this
So-
very remote area.
This matters to give a little bit of context to the situation. In the time since Ellie and Zelor went with Ambassador Taladris and tried to create some sort of understanding between the Free Kingdoms and the dwarves. In the few weeks, Zelor has met a woman whom he's grown quite fond of. And then Ambassador Taladris was assassinated, and upon that happening, um, the paladins that had come with him into Twin Harbors had begun to file in more numbers and set up their own little strongholds, and they began to root out dwarves in the Twin Harbors, and put them into camps and try to figure out what organizations or affiliation or that they're affiliated with, and essentially decided that all dwarves are responsible for the ambassador's assassination. Since then, Zalor has been making use of a disguising himself, to look like a somewhat short, maybe like 5'4", somewhat short human who seems rather unassuming. You couldn't really pick him out in a crowd. Nothing about him would stand out to you. And as long as he's traveling within the Free Kingdoms or in the more eastern parts of Twin Harbors, he is donning this spell to disguise himself. So that's why I'm bringing that up.
Mhm.
Also, his love interest has decided to go back to the Dwarven Empire because it seems to be safer there for dwarves than it does in Twin Harbors. So that's a little bit of backstory on him and what's going on there, and why right now Zelor does not look like a dwarf.
Clever.
Be more clever if disguise self would last longer than an hour.
Yeah.
That's a lot of spell slots.
You need to get that. You need to get that. That magic item called Hat of Disguise.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Ellie,
just find a warlock patron.
Or that. Yeah.
or become a warlock patron,
Whoa.
or become a warlock. I mean, I could do the warlock patron too, but that would take a lot of work.
Do it. It's fun.
Look at me! I now have warlocks serving me.
That's yeah. I do
Alright.
that. Okay. Well, I guess if we've travelled far then to get here.
Pretty far.
Okay.
Pretty far.
Well then, I would have taken my new invention with me. So following probably behind us by like 5-10 feet is a medium-sized owlbear. But it's completely made of metal. Well, and I guess bits of wood as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it just plods along happily behind us.
An owl bear. That's
Yeah.
intense. Those things are terrifying and cute.
To top it off, since we're on the subject of owls, there is an owl that randomly will appear to aid Zelor, and that's his familiar. My familiar is an owl.
Oh wow.
That's cool. Does your familiar have a name?
His name is Rasputin.
Rasputin the Owl.
Rasputin the owl. And he can't die, so there's that.
A familiar that cannot die. That's cool. So he's going to be propping open all the heavy doors then.
Exactly.
Has Ellie named the owl bear contraption?
She has, which might get confusing, as she has called it Aigner after all of the stories that she's been hearing and writing. She's kind of gotten a little bit inspired. That's why she's gone kind of down the fighter route as well now.
Hell yeah.
Many stories about the magical Spider-Man saving the city from the evil drow.
That's pretty much what he did.
This will not be Owl Baradu.
I did consider it. I did. All right, door's been kicked down.
Yeah, you guys are at the base of the hill. You're a good 100 feet away from this door.
But we can see it's been kicked down.
Yeah,
So-
it is bright sunlight outside.
So as soon as we see the door kicked down, Um, Zelor will silently put his hands out, and then he'll he'll take this little piece of wood. It looks kind of like a key, and like it's a key that was whittled by maybe a 5-year-old. And he'll hold it to his temple, and he'll pull out this string um, of silver energy, and then he'll hand the key over to Ellie, and this bit of energy is kind of dangling off the end. Having had this sort of interaction before, she's going to recognize this as being an encoded thought that he is looking to transmute to her without having to speak, and she'll know that just by putting it to her forehead, the thought will connect to her and go and pretty much act as a message.
That's cool. I do that.
Clever.
We should be on our guard. We don't know what is in here or if this is some kind of test.
I nod once decisively.
Then he will unclasp an axe from his hip, a little hand axe, and kind of crouch low, and I'm going to look for a place to hide and make a stealth check.
Right. The pathway up to the house is entirely unshielded by rock, by shrubbery. There's nothing to hide behind.
That's what I was afraid of.
And so, in bright daylight, there will be no way to sneak up to the house, but when you're at the house, there will be a way to hide behind, to avoid being seen from the inside once you're at the top of the hill.
Okay.
Could hide behind the owl bear.
Just some unassuming owlbear. You won't see. With this, it seemed like once we got to a point where it seems less busy, I think I would drop my disguise, so I will look like me.
Okay.
And I'll kind of creep up near the door. Is the door all the way gone?
No. The bottom part of the door is all the way flattened. The top is hanging off, the hinge slightly bent.
Okay. I'm assuming that it's probably enough of a door gone that I could get in there without having to disrupt the top part of the door. Because
Yep.
I'm short.
So you get to the top of the hill. Leovin.
Yes.
Nice entrance.
Thanks.
You also came here in search of Merrick.
Mm.
You have been inside this house now for a few hours. You arrived here this morning and found that not only had Merrick left his house and this door being kicked in, but you felt something was off. You left the house, transformed into a rat, and re-entered. And while in rat form, you noticed that hiding in the corner inside the house, in the darkest part, is a drow soldier. They are just standing there, hidden amongst these broken bits of shelves and cupboards and things, hiding amongst the detritus so that they can more easily conceal their position. But for some reason, they're still there. They haven't moved. They've barely breathed. But you know they're there. And now you can hear people moving around outside.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. Super duper on the spot. Let me check my spells or something and see if there's anything like creative that I can do here.
What's Zello's passive perception, by the way?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm using D&D Beyond on my phone, and I'm always a little bit slower with that, so you have to give me a second. I would love to use it on my Surface, but it seems like my internet is not wanting to be... I think it's my Surface, really. I don't think it's the internet itself, but it doesn't want to be quick. I'm mostly just talking to stall out for time. My passive perception
alright.
is 16.
16. That's not bad.
That's what happens when you have expertise in it.
Wonderful.
That's what happens when you're extremely paranoid, and at some point will probably lose your eye and replace it with a magical one.
That seems a bit specific.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys can start calling him Mad Eye, Mad Eye Zeller.
So, so I hear people rustling around outside, and I've got like, okay, so I've got something there that's a clear and present danger, and I got something back here that may or may not be danger. So he's got to exit the house and scurry over, and he'll just like he'll get to like the top step or whatever, and then see how far away they are down the path.
So when you get to a place where you can see outside, you see that there are 3 figures moving towards the house. A dwarf, what seems to be a human, maybe just a very tall halfling, and a massive metal contraption. It looks like an owl bear, and it is marching up the hill very noisily, clunkily, but also nearly blinding you as the sun glints off this metal beast.
With that, an owl swoops low and into
God.
the house. And as that's happening, you notice the dwarf. His beard is tightly braided, and he's got very little hair on top. Like it looks like his hairline's fairly well receded back, and he's just kind of just didn't really bother keeping it long any longer. His eyes just kind of go milky. And my owl is now inside of the building,
All
Okay.
right.
and
So-
I'm perceiving
well,
through its
Yeah,
senses.
I was gonna ask how far away they are from where I am when I see them.
So they'll be about 40 feet when you first see them.
All right.
The
So,
most of the way up the hill.
so Leovin's plan is to like scurry up as fast as he can until he's like literally like 10 to 5 feet away from them, and then just stop dead in his tracks and try and get their attention quietly. But you can describe like what Zelor sees with his owl situation first.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's have Rasputin make a perception check.
Sounds good. Don't. I gotta look up the owl thing because I think they have. I think their thing is they have
Keen
advantage.
senses. Yes,
Yeah.
they get advantage on perception.
Oh, cool. That's good.
Well, that's pretty sick.
That would be a 20 because without advantage it would have been a lot less.
And we get a natural +3 to it as well.
Oh, I don't use my perception bonus.
You probably do with it being a familiar.
Kind of confusing.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up the spell. But go ahead. Tell me what I see.
You see that the whole place has been trashed. There are high ceiling beams. There's a few rats moving about and squeaking, which Rasputin may or may not be attracted to as a snack. There seems to be just one room to this building, but there's a dividing wall that's been entirely ripped down. But the way the furnishings are, it looks like he ate, slept, and just did everything in this one room. In the back corner, however, Rasputin can see, and so can Zelor, there's a person hiding. They've got their face covered with this sort of wicker mask looking thing. They're wearing this very matte colored leather armor. They're perched, sort of holding themselves up between bits of broken furniture. They're obviously trying to hide, but Rasputin can just see that glisten in their eye.
Okay. Well,
And
he's gonna.
Leoben,
He'll have made a lazy swoop at one of the rats. Whether or not he catches it is up to you, and then kind of veer off and.
Yeah.
If he catches the rat, he's gonna like make a perch on top of a desk and start to chew at it, kind of keeping an eye on the person in the corner.
Is it going to be like an owl lands and then just slowly turns its whole head?
Just yeah, It just like lands with its back facing to him and just takes a rip out of the owl and then just turns its head around. This bit of, I guess it wouldn't take a bite out of the owl. It's not owl, or a bite out of the rat. It's not owls eat. It's just gonna take the whole thing in its mouth and turn. You've got a rat tail hanging out of its mouth as it's like staring at this drow.
Gross.
So
He might be
Laven,
like, "Who?"
Laven crawling along these rafters, finding a gap in the thatch roof, crawling down
Oh.
and landing into the grass. The grass is largely unkempt and
Mhm.
wild, so you've got a good like foot of grass to weave through, and then you arrive directly in front of this dwarf who's
Mhm.
got these milky eyes.
All right. So there's
You're a
the
good like 5 to 10 feet in front of them.
yeah. So there's the dwarf, and then there's the human, and I'm gonna just try and park myself right in between the two of them, and stand up on my little rat hind legs, and I'm gonna do this very particular pose that's just distinct. You know, it's like hand on the side right there, and then just like that, like, and then just to emphasize it, I'll give a solid little squeak. So yeah, it's just like really got to catch your attention, because honestly, like if you saw a rat do that, you'd probably just like stop in your tracks.
The dwarf looks like he's trying to swivel his head in 180 degrees and takes no notice at all of the squeaking rat.
I look at the owlbear because I basically treat it like it's sentient. I don't know if it is technically sentient, but treat it like it is. And then kind of mumble, "That's strange." Take out my notebook, crouch down, and start trying to like sketch it in this pose and write notes.
As Zelor keeps like stepping forward, I'll look directly in Ellie's eyes and point at Zelor and just go squeak, 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 squeak.
I like put my hand up onto the back of Zello's clothes and sort of hold him, stopped, and still look at the rat like kind of.
With
Wanted?
with that, Zelor like swivels his head back around and turns and looks at Ellie, his eyes back to normal. What? There's someone inside this building.
There's a weird rat in front of us. Rats don't do this.
He looks down.
This.
You there? Are you a spy?
He'll give one more emphatic squeak, and then he'll start to drop the wild shape. And yeah, I just marked that I did one use of it just now. So he's shifting back out of it, and he just like, it's a very quick and like weirdly like silent process where the rat fur just kind of like expands, and then it starts to like slough off, and the rat fur, as it sloughs off, it's like replaced with like this very dirty brown, grimy, greasy leather armor. And then when the head shifts out, you just see like wrinkles, just like a cascade of wrinkles on this old elven face. He's got these sunken, gaunt eyes, and his eyes are just like this icy blue color that's like very striking. And he's got just wispy, grayish white hair that is, you know, it's still kind of a full head of hair, but it's like very thin and straw-like. And yeah, so he just kind of starts in this crouching position, and he straightens up just a little bit, and he speaks with a raspy, kind of gravelly voice, and says, "There is danger in that house."
Aye. Zelor kind of takes a step back, holding his axe at his side, just kind of ready to move if this old, wrinkly elf makes any wrong decision. But is there danger out here?
Not that I've seen.
You and I see different things then, don't we? By the way,
I mean,
look-
you. What? Oh, no,
Go.
you go.
you look better as a rat.
I've been told worse.
I believe
Uh,
it.
I can't remember what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I mean you and your companions no harm.
Right then. So, what's inside the house?
Drow soldiers, ready to kill.
And no little short man.
No, Merrick is not here. I've come to find him as well.
And you're sure these drow haven't killed him and spirited his body away somewhere?
I can be sure of nothing yet.
Right. Well, why don't we deal with the problem at hand, and then we'll figure out if we can trust you.
I will flush them out. Do not worry.
Right then. Do your thing.
Very well. So he kind of crouches a little more and gets this really kind of like creepy looking look on his face. And then he is going to do a crazy little claw motion with his hand that kind of starts low and it kind of reaches upward, and then he'll say some gravelly words under his breath that sound like they're just coming from the back of his throat, like all these just guttural sounds. And then he'll cast a third level spell called Conjure Animals, and right in front of him, so all of these like numerous, just like I mean, tons and tons of rats just start to burrow up out of the ground. But they're like actually like fey spirit rats. They're not like real rats. It's just more like the energy and like concentrated rat energy. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But anyway, so mechanically, I'm going to go for the option where I get to summon 8 beasts of challenge rating 1/4 or lower. And that will include the monster called Swarm of Rats. So there are 8 swarms of rats, which make for
Wow.
a lot of rats. A lot
I
of
love
them.
the swarm entries. They're really, really good. There was an attempt recently to create. It was humorous, but to make a class, a fighter subclass, where it's 3 halflings in a trench coat, and in some cases it sort of follows swarm rules, and in other cases doesn't. I think they should have had another look at the swarm to get a good sense of how to handle that. There was a better way to mechanically do it.
For sure.
That's hilarious.
And then
Three
when you reach
halflings in a trench coat.
When you reach 20th level, you are now 4 halflings in a trench coat.
It's the best level 20 feature ever.
If
So
you take the noble variant knight background, could you be 7 halflings in a trench coat?
wow.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow. Okay,
That was
so
large size.
Leoven, he casts the spell. He summons 8 swarms of rats, which is a fuck ton of rats, and he, with his clawed hand that made the somatic gesture for the spell, he reaches it back, gets this pained look on his face, and then says, "Fly." And then all of the rats just flood forward and rush into the house. And they're just gonna just fucking swarm the place like crazy. Try and flush the drow out.
Okay, let's jump into initiative. Let's do that.
Cool.
Okay, so
Rolling
that
dice.
is- that's a 12 for me.
17.
17.
Should I roll initiative for the rats separately like that, or wait? I think it says so on the
yes,
spell that you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my god, I rolled like a fucking god. I rolled like a god.
I got a
That's
13 in a
insane.
minute. I'll give you my familiars roll. I just need to know what their initiative bonus is.
All right, hold on.
I'm holding on, dude.
Hold on. Okay, so Leovin's initiative is going to be 22, and then the Swarm of Rats initiative is going to be 20.
My owl's initiative is 11. So I got a 13. He got an 11.
Hmm.
And I found a picture of him. It's great because he looks like he gives 0 fucks.
You wanna screen share it really quick? I think we're set
Yeah,
up really
yeah.
really easy for screen sharing.
Boom, boom, boom. Look at how many fucks I give. 0 fucks.
See, I really
That's
think
good.
a Potu bird would make a fantastic familiar. I really think it would.
Oh, what?
A Potu bird.
A
Quickly
pot-
Google that and screen share it.
Doing that.
Patu bird, huh?
Mm.
Huh.
Oh my god. Oh,
What are-
that's hilarious.
What are we about to see?
Oh, this is gonna be some shit. They look like a crazy ass mix of some kind of lizard and bird.
They
Yep.
just look like they're constantly going like ha 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 ha.
Oh, that is nuts. All right, I'm
My wife is terrified of these, like especially when their mouth is open.
right.
They're going to swallow your soul. Yeah,
Oh, that is
one of those as a
funny.
familiar might be what Halifax replaces to buy a
Yes.
I think Chaos Sorcerer with a Patu bird familiar.
Do it.
Just.
Switch.
Oh, that is insane.
I just wanted to share that with you all.
Thank
Okay,
you. Our
so
lives are better for it.
yeah. So Leovan is that's the first action. We'll say that the conjure animals happens before initiative needs to be taken. So if this drow saw it happen, he's already taken whatever reactionary step, and so we're just in a new round of combat since then. So Leovan, what is he going to do?
Okay, so Leovan is what about 30 feet from the hut?
Yeah.
About that kind of makes sense with their like 40 feet, and then he scurried over, and they were just walking, so it kind of like that kind of
Yeah.
makes sense.
Casual move. Yeah.
What shall he do? I don't know. I feel like he's gonna try and let the rats do their thing, and he's gonna try and do something to like take care of himself a little bit.
Take the dodge action.
Dodge.
Get hit.
No, not dodge. No, here's what he's gonna do. He's going to cast another spell. He's going to cast Spider Climb. And yeah, he's going to cast Spider Climb on himself. Hold on, let me see if that's one action. Okay. So he's going to cast Spider Climb on himself, and then he's going to run. He's got a 35-foot speed. So he's going to get up to where the hut is, and as he's getting up there, he's going to try and do some little like acrobatic doodad to like I don't know, do like a spin and something, and just get up a little higher onto the side of the hut. But he's essentially he can't have the movement to get all the way to the top, but he's just going to spider climb onto the side, and on his next turn, try and get up there.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So I'll
rush uphill.
acrobatics.
Spider-Man to the side.
See how that
Yeah,
works.
give me an athletics check.
Acrobatics. He's got a decent dexterity. Acrobatics. Come on. So that's 12.
12.
12.
That's good enough to do a showy stick to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the rest of you guys, in my head, I've got just some really old, busted elven dude in a robe. Is that
He got leather armor. It's like
leather armor?
grimy, greasy, like got patches of dirt and filth on it. He like stinks really bad. You
Cool.
know? Yeah. So, but he's like he's a gnarly, crusty looking dude. Honestly.
Sweet. Okay, so yeah, he sticks to the side. In the meantime, these swarms of rats are moving. So these swarms can move, what, 30 feet, 40 feet?
I got the stats right here. Their speed is 30 feet, and yeah, they only get +2 to hit, but there are 8 swarms of them, so I think they can get lucky.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, they'll be able to move up to the house. So Laven will charge up the hill, flip, and stick to the side of the house as the rats sort of carpet towards the house and start going through the door. Now, strictly speaking, swarms of rats can move into another creature's space, so you could have all 8 swarms, like, all in the same 5-foot space, like, swarming and, like, moving all over
Yes,
each other.
it's exactly what I want.
Oh man, Rat King.
Carpet of rats.
Oh,
Rat King.
a rat king, dude. This is great.
He was an underused character, the Rat King. He was ace. Okay, Ellie.
Yeah. So are we trying to drive it out the door, presumably?
Say it again.
We're trying to drive the drow out the front door.
Yeah. I mean, at least like Leovan didn't really explain his thought process at all, but you know, the way he was looking at it is like, if you go in the house, the drow have the advantage.
Okay.
You know, if you flush them out of the house, we have the advantage. You know.
Yeah.
So that's what he's trying to do.
So I'm gonna cast grease on the door, like in the doorway. So as soon as he tries to come out the door, he should hopefully fall over.
Ooh. And the rats don't give a shit about the grease, dude. I don't care.
Plus they're already inside.
They'll be all greasy, dirty, smelly rats.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. They're already greasy and dirty.
Right? Slipping and sliding all over each other. It's gonna be nuts. Them's a lot of rats.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Alright, so you're casting grease.
Yeah.
Yeah, covers a 10-foot square area. A recommendation, since the rats are in the doorway currently, we can say that they're in the doorway so you can cast it now. Because they don't need to be summoned in the space that Leovan was in. He could have summoned them anywhere within 60 feet of him, I think. So
Is
he could
true.
have summoned them, yeah,
Yeah.
further up the hill. So yeah, they're in the house now then.
Straight up.
Cool, so you cast grease.
We're within range, right? We're 60 feet away from the house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right, okay, just check.
You're 40
Yeah.
feet from the house.
And then the owlbear goes directly after my turn.
Yep.
But I mean, there's not a lot I can give it to do right now. I might tell it to like go up to the door, like get as close to the door as it can. To move, basically. I don't need. I don't have a speed for it. It didn't give me a speed, so.
Oh.
Probably 30 feet.
We'll say 30 feet, and then during the break, I'll have a quick look. So yeah, it starts moving closer towards the house, so that it'll be like just behind you, so it's now 15 feet from the door. You can move, so you're 10 feet from the door, or are you going to stay all the way back?
Can I move to be 15 feet away from the door?
Okay. Level with Aigna. Aigna the owlbear robot.
I love how much confusion that's going to cause.
Sorry, she's gonna awkwardly shorten the name down when she gets embarrassed. I've got plans. It's his name is like written across the side of him,
Oh, I see.
so it's like obvious.
That's cute. Also, I was gonna say something, Drew. I kind of goofed up on my turn because because Spider Climb is also a concentration spell, like Conjure Animals is a concentration spell.
Ooh.
So I am gonna revoke the Spider Climb and just say, instead of trying to climb up onto the roof at all he's doing is going to the side of the hut and just like squeezing up against the wall and just like trying to get out of view.
In my head canon, he's still trying to just climb the hut, but hasn't actually cast Spider Climb.
No, he doesn't really have the capability to do that without spell assistance, really.
His bones are all creaky as he's like, I'm just not able to find a hold.
Exactly. Poor guy.
What we'll need to do is find some dodgy potion seller. She's got just a thing for you.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. Deep cut.
Hey, you got that potion to turn your fucking friend into a spider?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. So that's been
Oh yeah.
nicely retconned. We next have Zelor.
Alright.
Well, he is going to make his way up to the door and just do his best to hide from view, just behind or beyond the edge of the door. And if anything comes out of it, he is going to give it the old 1-2 axe chop.
Okay, so
Some-
Zelor's just running up to the door and waiting.
Moving up to the door quietly and hiding. So I'd like to
Okay.
make a stealth check.
Yeah. In that case, yeah, you move up to the doorway and then take the hide action.
Exactly.
Well, in fact, you're a rogue. You can probably do it as a bonus action by now.
Probably. I don't think I need to do any actions though, so doesn't matter.
Well,
Um,
what your action could be to ready an attack on
Oh,
the first
yeah.
drow that enters the doorway.
That would be a thing that I could do.
Yeah.
Alright, it is not super wonderful, because reasons. So...
You do have
skills.
14.
14.
Doorway. 14.
Mhm.
Okay. 14 spells.
I mean, in theory, he's going to have a hard time seeing me because it's daylight. But, unless they're
Ew. Zelor would
special-
know that about Drow and shit, dude. He's a guy that knows some shit.
possibly. Yeah, I guess we could give him... I don't know. He wasn't really... He grew up in Twin Harbors, so I don't know how much he's actually interacted with Drow.
So,
Yeah, I mean, like, being a rogue, though, he would, like, know some, like, dirty tactics and shit like that.
No, yeah.
But, anyways, where
Yeah.
are we at?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on. This guy, you see, push against the wall, hover in the air for a moment, and then stop. He is floating in the middle of this hut. He is off the ground. He is out of reach of these rats.
Why are you doing
Sorry?
Why are you doing this? Waste of a spell slot. Damn it.
They have the ability to cast levitate on themselves, so he's taking advantage of that.
Punk ass little
Draws-
bitches.
A short sword and a shield, and you then see him drag himself along the ceiling with the back of his hand towards a spot on the wall, and he's now going to plunge his sword through, trying to attack Leovin through the wall itself, which means you get a
Wow.
5 to your armor class.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. I just got a natural 20. I was not expecting that.
Wait.
Uh,
Oh, what? Oh, wait, what?
I mean, thematically, it's kind of cool. It gives him a Terminator vibe. So, yeah. He just stabs all the way through the wall,
Oh my God.
catches Leovin,
No.
and then drags this serrated blade along his shoulder, pulling it out again. You take 14 piercing damage and 20 poison damage.
What? Are you serious?
I am serious. That's 34 damage total.
Oh my god, dude, you dropped
much
me.
Holy crap.
I have 33 hit points. You dropped me, son.
It was a crit,
Oh
but...
my god.
oh.
Alright, so my rats disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The concentration ends.
Oh wow.
Well...
Oh, that's fucked up.
come up with a bit of a thing. I wanted him to come across as badass, not actually do a TPK.
For
Okay?
sure. For sure.
Okay.
All right. All right.
We cool? We cool? We
We're
cool?
cool.
We're
We're
cool.
cool. We're
All right.
cool.
All right. The dice and I have an understanding now.
For sure.
So it is now Rasputin the Owl's turn.
Okay. Well, on its turn, Rasputin the Owl is going to take flight and move within 5 feet of the drow. So this is just going to thematically look like it's just bombing toward him. I don't believe that familiars can actually take any attack actions or anything along those lines. But
I don't see why it couldn't, in this circumstance, provide the help or aid action, giving you advantage.
oh yeah, well I'm only doing that so I can cast a spell through him. That's the only reason
Okay.
why I need him within 5 feet.
All right. Leovin, give us a death saving throw.
You got it, man. You got it. All right, that's a 7. That's a fail.
He was a nice character.
I know. He tried. Yeah, like he tried his best to help, and yeah.
Ellie.
Yep, I didn't take any healing spells.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Um,
Neither did I.
how far away is he?
Could
Can
somebody-
I get to him?
Yeah.
So you're 15 feet from the door. He's moved to the near wall,
Okay.
and you've seen that sword come through and get ripped back out. So he's right by that wall. So you're like 15, 20 feet away from him.
Yeah. Can
Right.
someone do like a little medicine check on me to stabilize me, dude?
I'm gonna come in and try.
Medicine
a
check.
I have a +0.
Well,
So yeah,
that's
what
all
I'm gonna
right.
do. I'm gonna try and stabilize. It's a 14.
That's enough.
That should do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 10 on a medicine check to stabilize.
Word.
Right. How close to the door to the wall that he just stabbed through am I? Like, am I in? He could get me now if I stay where I am.
Yeah.
Okay. I am gonna. Right. I checked this. I don't think this item has a limit of uses, which seems mad. So you can check it if yourself if you want. But I'm gonna activate my Boots of the Winding Path
Okay.
and teleport 15 feet back to where I started from.
Nice.
Real quick, we didn't talk about this beforehand. Do we get a magic item at this point since we're level 5?
I was wondering that if we get some. If I'm going to come in with some at level 10.
I was just wondering because I wanted to have one at least.
Yes.
Okay.
If you know which one you want, or think you can quickly.
I will figure it out, but I'm not gonna have it like on my character in this battle because that's just not fair.
Okay.
So, yeah, minor ones that I've made. So I've infused my rapier, so it's a magic +1 sword, and I've got Boots of the Winding Path, which teleport. 15
You know
feet.
what? I think I do know what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna go for the Hat of Disguise because that does make sense. That's the kind of thing Zello would be tracking down, given this.
And
most
we
recent
already know that
Israel.
Zello can make available to himself magic items.
Mhm. So let's just assume that's what he has, and I'll just give myself a different spell from than Disguise Self.
That's more than reasonable.
All right. Plus, that doesn't change anything that's already happened at all.
Exactly.
All right. Cool.
So Ellie's moved up, stopped Leovin from bleeding out, quickly staunched and packed the wound with some gauze, some sticky tape, some duct tape. Duct tape fixes everything.
Oh yeah.
Then we have Zelor.
All right. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze again. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Okay. So now with my owl within 5 feet of him, and I'm kind of peeking in the door, watching my owl get in range. And then as soon as it gets within 5 feet, I swing my axe, and as I do, all these axes, these spectral axes, start to spin around my my owl,
Nice.
and I am casting Swordburst. So, creates a circle of spectral blades that sweep around you. Each creature within range other than you must succeed a dexterity save throw or take. In this case, I do believe it is 2d6 force damage. So, the dex save is that he has to make is gone because I pressed the wrong button because I'm wonderful at this game. Looks like it would be 13.
I rolled 13. He gets +7 to that, so that's a
Oh
dirty
dang!
20.
All right, and it's a cantrip, so it's not half damage. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't say half damage. Okay.
So yeah,
And
he'll just quickly spin himself around in midair and bring his shield up, block all these spectral axes.
okay. With that, yeah, that's all I'm gonna do for now, I think. And I think I'm just gonna hold off on hoping he doesn't see me.
Cool. You were outside anyway,
Mhm.
but
I guess I'll go ahead and do. Should I do another hide action since I've done an actual action?
you have, yes. So yeah, you'll need to make another hide action, but you've got stuff to hide behind.
Right.
He rolled lower this time.
I rolled higher. That's a 22.
Nice.
That's my turn.
Okay. Now it's his turn. So just to clarify, Ellie sort of teleported away from the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. So not he would have no idea that Leovin did drop. So I'm gonna say first thing he does is try to stab through the wall again, and go to like where he thinks Leovin should be, draw the sword back, and realize that it's not got any extra blood on it. So he's going to spin and try and get Rasputin instead.
But I thought Rasputin can't die. That was the joke, right?
Didn't
it was
say he
just
couldn't get
it was the
attacked.
joke. I mean, he can't get
Just can't
attacked.
die.
Yeah.
He's got an AC of 11 and 1 hit point.
That's a 12 to hit.
So I think Rasputin might die.
So yep. The owl is sundered, disappears into green mist.
Yep. As he cleaves it in two, its body separating, it just disappears into this magical mist.
And then he's going to shift through the rafters. You can hear his shield and the back of his gauntleted hand like bashing against the wooden beams inside the house. But he is hiding. You can't see inside the gloom of this house if you guys are outside currently. So that's a... Oh, wow. He gets +10 to stealth. That's amazing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right. It was Rasputin's turn. It's now Leovin's turn. He's still unconscious.
yeah.
But alive.
But stable.
Yeah.
He will regain 1 hit point in 4 hours. I rolled the 1d4 for how many hours it will take for him to recover 1 hit point.
Oh no, and you got a 4.
Yeah, I got a 4. Yeah. It's like the only time that you don't want to roll a 4 on a d4.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it'd be
I mean,
sick if
like,
I rolled a 1.
I wanted to do some damage. I didn't want to get a natural 20, but I also get really excited. I don't get them a lot.
Yeah, for sure. No, you got to celebrate as
Yep,
a DM.
Ellie.
Yeah. Right. Does it look like the wall is easily broken down?
Yeah, this is not the most sturdy and stable thing.
Right.
Like, obviously, the defensive nature of this abode seems to be the dense woodland stopping an army from easily getting to him. Lots of natural predators in the woodlands, and then just a steep hill with nothing to hide behind.
Okay.
That seems to be the defensive quality.
I would like to hold an action to cast a spell for as soon as I see him next.
Okay.
And I would like to tell the owlbear to break a hole through the wall. Because I know that's going to be hassle for us.
Charge.
Door.
So for this thing, to smash a hole through the wall, we're going to need a strength athletics skill check from it. if it doesn't have anything explicit about that, let's just say that it automatically has a strength of like 14 or something.
It has a strength. Of
Yeah.
40. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That was a good guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, crit.
Crit success?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
I wouldn't say it so happily. Yeah. Plus 2.
Brilliant. So yeah, this metallic creature claws its way up the hill and crashes through the side of the wall next to the door. The rats on the beam scurrying and squeaking away. One of them climbing out of a window down, landing on Leovin's chest, just sort of sniffing around his face and then scurrying away into the grass. That is the automaton. Then it is Zelor.
All right. Well, I think my plan is momentarily changed. How big is the is Agner?
Medium.
But I mean, like size-wise, medium is less than 15 feet, right?
Yeah.
I'll bet. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. So medium will be roughly 5 by 5 by 5.
All right.
Roughly. Like there's some wiggle room. You could be about 7 to 8 feet tall.
Would a creature its size be able to fit into that doorway?
No.
Okay. And did he like break through and actually go into the building, or did he just break the wall down?
Up to Kerry.
No, just broke a hole in there and then kind of moved aside a little bit for.
Cool.
me
Okay.
to
The way I'm
see
seeing
that
this as
was
well
cool.
is it's doorway, Zelor, and then the hole that this creature's made. So Zelor's like hiding in this one sliver of wall that's left.
All right. And is it made out of metal, wood? Like what kind of rock? What kind of material are used to make up the to make up Egner? Sorry, the bear has a name. Egner.
It's mostly metal. I
Okay.
guess probably bits of wood, but majority.
Oh, in that case, I'm just mostly looking for something to grasp onto for flavor. In that case, Zelor very quietly kneels down and picks up a twig and starts to mutter a spell under his breath as he manipulates the twig. And it moves, it's not just like twisting and snapping, it's kind of moves fluidly to make this slightly, not humanoid, but like mammalian, like slightly heads, arms, and leg shape. And then he throws it, and as it lands, it grows into another like, mirror copy of Egner. And
Slick.
it is me casting Silent Image as a copy of Egner.
Slick.
Nice.
With that, it starts to lumber in the direction that Egner broke the wall down very silently. And that's my turn. I will use my bonus action to hide again. That is a 17.
All right. I'm about to do something unorthodox, Kyle, that you
Mhm.
weren't expecting, and I didn't warn you about.
Okay.
It'll be in a little bit, but just sort of in about 10 minutes. Be prepared to roll with something.
Okay. Well, in about 10. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Just before the break.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. So that's Zealous thing. So he's got no reason to think that this is anything other than like a backup machine thing.
Yeah. The only like hint that he gets that something is amiss is that the image is absolutely silent. It has no smell. It just looks like something. He might, if he knows enough about illusionary magic, see through that.
Hmm.
But otherwise, yeah, it's just meant to look like another big threatening creature.
Okay. So he's going to push off against the back corner that he's hiding amongst. Loads of detritus and debris flying outwards as he pushes himself, sort of Superman style, flying forwards. And he's going to be trying to fight this metal thing. Would he try and fight the metal thing?
The
No.
real question becomes, does Kerry now see him? Because she read
Yeah.
the spell.
And also, what's he wearing? You were describing this already, but is he wearing like leather?
Yes. You can. Yeah. So he'll launch towards this this Aigner and start to swing his sword, and he'll come into view.
Okay.
You'll see that he's sort of from neck to toe, this seemingly like onesie leather suit with these thick blackened studs. They look almost like wrought iron, pig iron studs of metal, adding a bit of extra protection. His mask is like this wicker thing.
Alright. If I cast heat metal on the studs, would that do the damage, or does he need to be wearing like proper armor for that to work?
Interesting.
I'd say heat metal would do the trick.
Because he'd need to try to take it off to stop it hurting him, wouldn't he?
Would.
Is the plan.
Heat metal. Heat metal.
Well, my other thing that I was thinking of doing was casting Enlarge and Heat Metal on Aigner. I'm just sending this like red hot, massive metal.
That's badass. That
I mean, this
that'd be multiple actions though, and maybe
Yeah.
multiple concentration spells too.
Not
Is
multiple
the thing.
concentrations.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Spell cards are clear enough.
It's
That's
such
fine.
a badass idea though. Of flaming hot, huge metal owlbear.
Yeah. Maybe I'll implant like fire spitter things in it.
Dude, this is getting so sick. I love the artificer already. Oh my gosh.
studded leather counts as light armor. The spell specifies medium and heavy metal armor.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So strictly mechanically, there's that loophole. I think narratively we're going to say that the studs are insignificant enough. It's like poppers on a coat.
I'll cast it on his sword then.
There
Yeah,
you go.
he's wielding a sword.
That's plenty good. Now, is that the one that fucked up Laven?
Yep.
Do it. Take that sword away from him.
So he takes 2d8 fire damage. Yeah. 10 fire damage.
Nice.
But that lasts for a minute, so if he drops it every time he tries to keep hold of it, I'll pick it up. He'll take it. I think.
Yeah.
Well, on my act, as a bonus action, he can do it. So it's if he keeps hold of it.
Creature must succeed on a constitution saving throw. I just rolled a 1, so he fails at that. Or
It's
drops
not a
the
saving
object.
throw.
No, it's just like automatic damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yes.
if the holding the object and then take damage, they must succeed on a constitution saving throw.
Oh, or drop it.
Drop the object.
Yeah.
So he's failed, so he drops it.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
If it doesn't drop the object, it has disadvantage. Okay, so he's no longer got a sword.
Hell yeah.
That's not good.
We're killing it, Carrie. Killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it.
So yeah, so he it gets really hot. It drops to the wooden planks on the floor.
Don't set fire. I didn't mean to set fire to that. It's just hot. It's not a fire.
So as he was swinging for Aigner, and now his sword drops out of his hand, well, he's gonna pull to the back of his belt, pull out his hand crossbow, and try that. So let's see if this hits. What's the armor class of this thing?
Is he going for Agner or is he going for the image of Agner though?
He's going for whichever one's in front.
The image.
The image is in front, so
Yeah.
he's going for the image. I just
Yeah,
rolled
he
it
is.
again.
I don't think anything happens. I think he just like goes right through the image, so he'd be able to tell it's fake, but he doesn't destroy it or anything.
Cool. So yeah. Sorry, I just made a sound effect rather than describing things. Yeah, the bolt shoots through the image. This sort of strange bowing effect at the front of the image as the bolt pierces through, and then it resets quickly. And the same thing at the end, as if it's just gone all the way through a balloon, but the balloon doesn't pop. And the bolt lands in the floor in front of the real Aigner. And that's his turn. It is back to Leuven, who can't do anything, so it's back to Ellie.
Right, so I can see him now.
Yep.
So I am gonna. Can I get to him by running in? How far away from him am I?
If you're back to 15 feet away from the building, he's 10 feet inside the building, so 25 feet away.
Alright, I can get there. I'm gonna run up to him and take out my rapier, which is magic, and attack him twice because I can.
Cool.
Oh, that was good. 26 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Oh, 13 magic damage.
30.
Nice. I'm probably gonna hit. 12 to hit.
No, that doesn't hit.
And then I'm gonna teleport back 15 feet.
Okay. The fact that he's dropped his sword as well means that he can't use his reaction ability.
Yeah, but I don't think you can use. I don't think you can do attack of opportunities with those boots because the whole point is you teleport back. I think you just disappear. Otherwise, there's no point of them.
No, sorry. The reaction ability that he's got is called a parry. If he's
Okay.
wielding a melee weapon, he can parry, add to his armor class.
Well,
And now I
that's
don't
what
have that option. So
Good for us.
what a shame. What a
yeah.
shame. And then I'm
No.
gonna tell.
Nope. Never mind.
I'm gonna tell real Aigner
Mhm.
to go in and attack it.
Cool.
Okay. So,
So it marches forward, rears up.
right, it does a bite attack. So it's 18 to hit.
18 is just enough to hit. If he had his short sword, that would have missed.
And it's 6 piercing damage.
6 piercing damage. Okay. Yeah, he yells in pain as this beast grabs onto his leg. Let go of me, you varmint! Tries to tear his leg out of its jaws.
Cowboy Drow. Yes.
I forgot about
The
that.
return of the Cowboy Drow.
Oh man, I gotta get a funny anecdote. I'll tell you guys later.
It's the best.
He's then disengaging, moving towards the back, crawling with his hands along the rafters, and punching a hole in the roof. And he pulls himself up out of the roof on top of the building. He's now in bright sunlight. He shields his eyes. Ellie will be able to see him. Zello will be able to see him because Zello's still outside, if memory serves.
Yes,
So you'll both be able to see him rise above. He's shielding his eyes, blinking, and you can see him scouring the horizon, looking for something. At this point, we are going to have Aigner. We won't need a solid idea of his stats at 5th level, so don't do a whole lot of crazy math. But Aigner will have returned from a recent training exercise that Merrick had sent him on the previous evening. He's now returned and seen this drow rise up. And so Aigner will charge forward, haul himself up the back of the building, leap up with his weapon, and go for a stab. Kyle, would you mind making an attack roll for Aigner?
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Oh, not so
Differentiation of how it is
Not so
with real Agner and fake Agner,
good.
or
Yeah. So
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to come out.
yeah. So that is going to be a so his strength, like his stats are more or less the same. Let me check this like proficiency bonus thing that we got going on
should be
here.
a +3.
Yeah, it's a +3. So that's going to be a 15 to AC.
Okay, so he doesn't do any damage, but as this drow brings his shield up to block the blow, Aigner stabs into the shield, and both of them fall down onto the roof, tumble off the side, and collapse onto the ground right next to Leovin. Aigner is on top of this drow, forcing the sword down while the drow is trying to push this blade back up.
Intense. Super intense.
And then he will cast the shield aside, trying to force Aigner away. Aigner will just release the sword and go to hold the drow down, at which point he'll hold his hands up and go, "All right, man, all right, you got me."
So
Jeez.
does Egner have his hands on him pretty much?
Yep.
So he's got like one hand like on his throat pretty much, and he's got another hand he's like grabbing his like left wrist essentially and just restraining him there. And Egner just grits his teeth and looks at him and says, "What the hell are you doing here?"
Is this before or after Spider Agner?
Oh no, this is the Egner has been Spider Egner. At this point, he's like trying to not indulge himself in the
Right.
spidery aspect too much. So
But
he's
this was around the time that he was kind of hiding out and like trying to be away from everybody because
Yeah.
he's like, I'm hideous, don't
oh
look at
yeah, exactly. And he's been spending
Okay.
a lot of time with Merrick at this point, so he knows that something is immediately amiss when Drow are here, and he just asks them, "What the hell are you doing here?"
That's an ideal time for a break.
Oh, okay.
Spider.
We're like 5 minutes out,
Yeah,
but I think that's the great line to end on the break.
it's a good
and,
line to end it on for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Go
end
back
singing
about 10
Spider
minutes.
Egner.
Spider Egner, Spider
Spider
Egner.
Egner.
Does
Does
whatever
whatever
Spider
Spider
Egner does.
I love the similar awkwardness in that one. All right, cool. We're gonna take a break. We'll be back in 5-10 minutes. Thank you for joining us on our game, Voloheen, The Winds of War.
Winds
I
of
actually got
War.
the title changed now. We were Mischief and Misfits for a while.
For sure.
Ah.
Yeah,
We'll
and
be back shortly.
the other thing that we got to fix really quick is the overlay. The Twitch overlay still shows Damocles, Calistan, and Nocturne, and
Oh, I'll take care of
Garrus
that,
and
yeah.
Yallo. Cool.
I'll fix that on our break.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll see you all shortly.
All right, see you guys. Let me hold on. I haven't done this in a while. Let me switch this back. Okay, we'll be right back. Thank you.